Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. This practice involves some dropping down as well as lifting up. We will also be crossing over the midline and moving our limbs away from the midline. And I'd like us to begin with the breathing practice. So you'll need something to sit on where you're comfortable, either your meditation cushion, a blanket, a block, or even a chair. And once you've found your equipment, come to a comfortable seated position. Doesn't matter so much how your legs are arranged, but I would like us to be able to feel our sitting bones, the base of the pelvis, and to let the weight of your pelvis drop. And as the weight of your pelvis drops down with some balanced effort, lifting the spine up. Lifting the spine up. And this will help to lengthen the torso. It might feel as though the chest, the heart, the rib cage lifts also, creating a little bit more room for breath. So while we are inviting the pelvis to drop down, there's this balance of lifting up through the spine, right up through the top of your head. And then just resting your hands where they're comfortable and tuning into the natural flow of your breath without needing it to be anything more or less than it is. This is your natural breath print. And just notice how it feels, how your breath is moving or not moving. Sometimes the breath can feel so quiet, hardly moving at all. Notice that too. Notice the pauses between the breaths. And then once you have some sense of your own sort of baseline breathing pattern, we're going to come into this pranayama. And I still don't know if there's a Sanskrit name for this practice, but I call it the elevator breath. I know other people call it that as well. And if you're comfortable imagining you're in an elevator, you're sort of on the ground floor and you're moving up to the top floor, but you're going to take a few stops along the way, maybe just two, and then up to the top. And then the ride down is just one full exhalation. So we breathe in, it's a little pause, we breathe in a little bit more, another pause, and then all the way to the top, there's a pause, and then exhale all the breath out as the elevator moves down. And so, if being in an elevator for whatever reason doesn't feel appropriate for you, you can think about sipping, taking sips of breath. So the inhalation is taking a few sips, and there's a little pause after each sip as you fill up. So you get to the top and you're full, and then just exhaling all the breath out. And we'll just sit for a minute here and feel how this practice uh, feels in your body and in your breath. So from our baseline, we're going to start to play a little bit with the shape of our breath, breathing in, pause, breathe in a little more, pause, and then breathe all the way up, fill up, pause at the very top, and then exhale all the way down. Pausing at the bottom, breathing in, pause, breathing in a little more, pause, breathing in all the way up, filling up, pause, Exhale all the breath out. And I'll just let you play with this breathing pattern on your own. The pauses are so gentle, so gentle. The exhale could also become a sigh, or there might be a little sound. Let's do one more round of this. Breathing in, pause, a little more, pause, all the way up, pause, exhale, all the breath out. Wonderful. And then just make some easy, simple shoulder circles, winding the shoulders back and down, winding the shoulders forward and down, just getting some movement happening there. You might also find the neck wants to move a little bit. So as the shoulders are circling around the head, could also make some circles or turns. Softening the jaw, softening your face, softening your eyes so that we can undo some of this tension in the neck, jaw, shoulders as a little starting place. Okay, awesome. And then we're going to come into a wide-legged seated position. And for this one, you can decide if you still need to sit on your meditation cushion or if a folded blanket might feel better, just in terms of height. So I like the height of my blanket. I'm going to use that. So please come to sit now on the floor. We're going to take the legs wide. Oh, and as wide as you're comfortable. And we're going to do a little of this, rocking side to side. You can bend one knee, straighten the other leg, shifting your weight side to side and feel the weight dropping down through that pelvic half, through the sitting bone into the earth, and just that lovely kind of soothing, rocking motion, soothing, but you might also feel kind of a good stretch happening in the back of the legs and in the hips. So I'm also starting to do a little forward bend um, as I sink my weight down through one side, a little forward bend towards that leg and foot. Okay, come back up to center now. Take hold of one of your femurs, your upper leg bone, and turn it in and turn it out. And as you do this, just noticing if your knee and your ankle and your foot are also moving with the thigh bone. And so hopefully the whole leg is kind of moving as one unit. Yeah, so we're getting into the hip joint, keeping the ankle and the knee kind of still. letting the movement come just from the hip joint. All right, come to the other side. And yeah, so noticing if anything's different on this side, turning that leg in, turning it out. So I will just share this. This hip is tighter for me. And so my ankle is moving more in this rotation than my hip is. So my foot wants to turn more as I go side to side. And that's an indication, yeah, that there's a little bit of miscommunication happening between my hip, my knee, and my ankle. So I'm going to try to keep everybody in line. And yeah, and also working into that hip joint with a little external and internal rotation. Wonderful. And then come back to center. We've opened up the hips a little bit, and we're going to take the hands out in front. If sitting upright is enough, you're going to stay here. In fact, you might even find it more comfortable to have your hands behind you, and you can just stay here. If you're okay to bring your hands out in front, the knees could bend a little bit. We're going to flex the feet, right? So wake up the toes, and maybe the hands will climb a little bit ahead of you, reaching forward with your sternum, letting the base of your pelvis, letting the base of your pelvis stay rooted down. There'll be some movement. You'll feel your sitting bones kind of roll, but they're still nice and heavy, right? As you find the sitting bones dropping, the chest lifting. The chest lifting, the spine lengthening, finding a balance between dropping and lifting. Let's take a few breaths. You can go as far forward as it's comfortable for you, but I really recommend doing less. Just meeting yourself where sensation begins is enough. There's lots happening here to explore. If we're mindful and attentive, no need to go further. Okay, wonderful. And then we're going to walk the hands back. So we're seated. Then we're going to cross the legs. We're going to cross the legs so that the right shin is in front and the left shin is in the back in Sukhasana. So a loose, you're not going to come into lotus, just a loose cross-legged position. And I'm still on my blanket to give my hips a little lift. And so right leg is in front, left leg is underneath. We're also going to cross the arms. We're going to do I have to think about this, right arm crosses over to the left knee, the left arm crosses over to the right knee. All right, so this is the crisscrossing of the midline. Pause a moment, feel where your hands are, feel where your feet are, feel your fingers, your toes. While your spine is upright, we still have this in the language of the subtle body, our vertical axis, which is called Sushumna Nadi, the central energy channel, staying bright and open as our limbs cross the midline. Okay, then we're going to take the left hand and lift it off the knee and reach that left arm a little bit further, stretching into the back of that left arm. And then reach this left arm up towards the ceiling, get long through the left side, turn to the left, and then place your left hand on the floor. Pause there, opening the collarbones, lifting the heart, lifting the lungs, and then we're going to On an exhale, sweep the arm all the way back, turn forward, resting your hand on the leg. We're only going to do that 2 more times. Reach and lift and turn and lower that arm. Pause. Your head can turn to the left, then lift the left arm up to the ceiling, turn forward, and bringing that hand back onto your knee. There might be a little room here for a forward bend. I'll leave that to you, depending on how that feels for your hips and low back. Oh, before we uncross the arms, this could take us right into eagle arms, Garudasana. Let's go there. And so your left arm is crossed over your right. We're in eagle. And let's again have a little movement going here for the head and neck. So, yeah, turning your head, keep the top of your head in line with the pelvic floor. And then breathing in, breathing out, and opening your wings. Widening, reaching out and away from the chest. Turn your palms towards the floor. And we're going to cross the legs in the other direction. So the right leg tucking in close and the left out in front. And the left arm crosses to the right knee and the right arm is on top now. And just pause a moment, feeling where can you wiggle? I like to test myself. Can I find my middle right finger and wiggle it? And can I find my big left toe? Right? So kind of having a felt sense where things are having crossed over to the other side. Okay, and then we're going to do that rotation and stretch for this arm. So we're going to lift the right arm, reach it a little bit over there to the left, and then up towards the ceiling. Get long through the right side, turning to the right, and then placing your fingers on the floor behind you. Looking to the right, pausing, feeling this shape. And then as you're ready, go ahead, lift that right arm, turn, and then lower it to the knee. 2 more times. Reach and lift and turn and lower. Look to your right. How far can you see to the right? That's good practice for your eyes. And then returning all the way back. So we end up here in this crisscross position. Let's come into eagle pose. Garudasana, arms could be here, could be here. You could lift your elbows, you could drop your elbows, you could try different variations and see how it feels, the effects of just modifying the stretch a little bit. And for me, I like to rest my arms on my chest as I breathe in and out. And this helps to exercise. I feel the strength of my lungs and my diaphragm, right? A little extra work here for the lungs so that when I release and unwrap, feeling that freedom and lightness in the chest. Beautiful. And then let's lower the arms. We're going to move from here onto our hands and knees. So please Move your things off your mat, coming into table position. And in table position, we're going to tuck the toes under. And again, shifting the weight side to side. You might want to take your knees a little wider too, if that helps. And so to shift your weight side to side, you could sway your hips side to side. Feel the weight dropping through the knee and the hand as you go back and forth, dropping some weight. Um, this always makes me feel like an elephant. The movement of an elephant swinging her trunk. And so if that appeals to you, you can imagine being an elephant and doing that nice little kind of weighty, heavy swaying. And the toes are tucked under just to give us a little stretch as we do this. And the toes could actively also kind of claw the ground behind you. All right, awesome. And then we're going to go from here into Virasana, sitting on, sorry, not Virasana, Vajrasana, sitting on the ankles, using your hands on the floor to gauge how much weight is appropriate for you to drop down through the feet and toes. If you're able to stay here for a few breaths, this is really good work for the toes, for the soles of the feet. Maybe 3 to 5 breaths. And then coming out and pointing your toes to the back of the mat, feeling the tops of the feet on the floor. And once again, setting your hips back onto your heels, coming into this variation of Vajrasana. Um, yeah, and maybe your toes could wiggle a little bit. It's not that we're trying to crush them into the floor, is to bring a little bit of pressure there for a stretch to get into the tissues that sometimes are so tight and gripping that a little kind massage pressure into those tissues can feel good. In fact, sometimes what I do, I take my knuckles and into the arches and the soles of the feet and lean back a little bit. Oh, good. Okay. From there, come forward and we're going to do some work to strengthen and move the hips. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can, or forward so you can see how this looks. Um, Try to keep your spine nice and long in a neutral position as you take one knee out to the side and make circles. I'm looking up so I can see myself and how that looks for you. Um, but I would like you to look at the floor. So look at the space between your hands just to keep your neck also in that nice long neutral shape. So we are making some nice wide circles. Go back and forth in different directions. And you'll begin to feel not just the work in the right hip, all that movement happening in the right hip, but there's some work happening in the left hip, right, to stabilize you. And that's really, really good. Yeah, just do enough that feels appropriate. Don't be afraid to feel a little bit of muscle fatigue. The muscles are learning um, to, what are they learning to do? They're learning to let go in some case, and they're learning to engage, to do this movement. Okay, when you're done, set that uh, knee down and we'll come to the other side. So find your stable table, long spine, take your knee out, and away we go. Now, dropping some weight down through the hands, and you might even grip the mat a little bit with your fingerprints just to shift any uncomfortable um, feeling sensations in the wrists. Sometimes gripping the mat with the fingerprints can take that work out of the wrists. And are you breathing? All right. And then once you've done both sides, open the knees wide, bring your big toes together, slide your hips back, coming into this wide-legged child's pose. Whew, let's take 3 breaths here. Can you feel what's dropping? Can you feel what's lifting? Maybe not so much what is dropping, what's lifting, but where? Where do you feel the sensation of dropping, releasing? Where do you feel the lift, the lightening, the expanse, expansiveness? Wonderful. And then from here, let's come forward into table pose again. Tuck your toes under. You're going to go right into downward facing dog. So lifting the sitting bones and dropping the hands, pressing the feet, the heels towards the floor. They don't have to reach the floor, of course. We know that. Um, this could just be a really nice, good stretch there for the back of the legs. Let your head drop. Right. So again, where can you allow some dropping so that there can be some lifting? Right. Sometimes I imagine that I'm being drawn up to the sky with a big balloon, and my arms and legs are dangling and dropping towards the earth. So there's that amazing rising up like a balloon, as well as the weightiness, right, of the arms and legs dropping down. Okay, from here, we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet and come into Uttanasana. So the weight shifting back into the legs, into the feet, so that the hands can come off the ground. Give them a little shake because we're going to take our hands and walk them forward again towards the top of the mat and come right into plank position, either full plank with the knees lifted, the heels pressing back, or half plank with the knees on the floor. But whichever plank you're in, we're going to do 3 little push-ups. I mean, like halfway to the floor, or maybe even a third way to the floor. Just do 3. As you lower your chest, keep the back of the chest lifting. So you're not collapsing. You're not collapsing the chest towards the floor. You're lowering it at the same time as there's a lift. That makes sense. So after 3 or so of those, um, come back into dog pose. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Feel your weight shifting back into the legs and into the feet. Shake out your hands. Right? You might also let your head drop. And again, we're going to walk the hands forward towards the top of the mat, coming into plank pose, either plank or half plank. You decide. And then 1, 2, 3, and then dog pose. Walking your hands back towards your feet. Shake out your hands. Okay, one more time. Walk your hands towards the top of the mat. Plank pose and pressing the heels back. 3 little push-ups. 3 little push-ups. Then bring your knees to the floor. Slowly lower yourself down onto your belly. And we're not going to stay here. We find ourselves here, face down on the ground, but I want to come up to standing. So press the hands. The hands are on either side of the chest. Press the hands into the floor to lift yourself into table pose. Tuck your toes under. Press your hands into the floor. Press the toes down to lift your sitting bones. And from here, walking your hands back towards your feet, shifting your weight into your legs, into your feet, so that your hands can come off the ground. This time, reach your arms way out to the side. Inhale and sweep up. Yeah, so we come onto our feet here with the arms rising up. Great. So I hope you can see my head's a little chopped off. I think that's going to be okay. And then so from here, come into the middle of your mat and take a step out to either side and turn your feet out. Bring your hands onto your hips and shift your weight a little side to side again. Feel the weight dropping side to side, keeping the spine upright and lifted. Your knee is tracking over your foot. Right? And then come back to center. Feel that center channel now right down through the pelvic floor, between the heels. And then reaching your arms out. Turn your right palm down, your left palm up. Look towards your left fingertips. And then turning your head forward as your left palm turns down, right palm turns up. Keep that little goddess squat. And then switch. Let the whole arm roll here. So it's not just the hand turning up. You've got the one shoulder turning in, the other shoulder turning back, and then switch again. Coming back to center, bend your elbows, lift your toes, maybe sink the hips down a little bit more. Press the thighs back, gather your shoulder blades in, feel the strength in the back body. Straightening your arms and legs. Then we're going to shift that right foot. We're going to step that right foot right next to the left foot. So you're not turned, you're not square to the edge of your mat. You're turned a little bit. From here, shift your weight into your left foot to lift the right knee up off the floor. Okay, we're coming into some balancing work. You can keep the foot toes on the floor and just do some variation of tree if you like. Otherwise, lifting that right knee, opening it out to the side. You could use your left arm there as a ballast to find your center. Okay, bring your knee back to center. Cross your left arm over the body to take hold of the right knee. We're still in this balancing shape. Maybe the right arm could reach back. There's the crisscrossing action again. Okay, good. Come back to center. Step that right foot back Roll the heel down onto the floor, coming into warrior one. Arms reach up, they lift up, and then we also sink the feet down. Yeah, sink the feet down, lifting the chest and head. Reach up, inhale, then exhale. Step the right foot forward, bend both knees, reaching your arms towards the sky, coming into Utkatasana. And then from Utkatasana, let's fold forward to Uttanasana. Take a couple breaths. Let your head drop. Beautiful. And then inhale, sweep the arms up and up and up, palms together. Exhale, palms in front of your heart. Step your right foot back into goddess pose where we started. Let's take 3 breaths here. After your 3rd breath, straightening your arms and legs, sweep that left foot next to the right, shifting your weight into the right leg, lifting the left knee. You know? Then opening this knee out to the side, the right arm opening wide. Feeling both the dropping down and the lifting up. Bringing your knee back to center, and then the right hand comes to the left knee, and we come into this little standing balancing twist. Turning to the left, the ribs, the chest. Yeah, can you feel your fingers and your toes? Beautiful. Come back to center, and then stepping that left foot back, rolling your weight back into that left heel. Down we go so that we can lift up. Coming into warrior one. After your 3rd breath, stepping that left foot forward. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana. And then inhale, sweeping the arms up, palms in front of your heart. Step back to goddess pose. And, or at least where that we began with the feet turned out. And then toe, bring your toes in and your heels out. So the thighs are a little internally rotated now. And again, you might just want to do a little boop, boop, side to side, just to feel how that is for you. Stretching into the hips again with a little internal rotation. Might feel like the back of your pelvis is just whoosh a little bit more open. And we're going to take this into wide-legged forward bend. So let's do this. Hands onto the hips, tipping forward at the hip joints, coming down, releasing head, hands down, and find your heel bones reaching into the earth to lift your sitting bones. Yeah, actively working the legs. And if you want to add a little bit more to this, you can think of the feet as just gently stretching the mat apart a little bit as the sitting bones lift. Okay, to come up, find an inhalation. Use the power and strength of your legs to bring your torso all the way back up. Stepping your feet together. And then finally, we're going to do one more standing pose. And I might recommend using a block for this. bringing the block to the outside of the right foot. We're going to do eagle pose, Garudasana. So the knees are going to bend, and we're going to sweep the left leg over the right, bringing the toes of the left foot onto the block. So both feet have something to land on, and reach your arms wide, and then crossing the left arm under the right, your variation of eagle pose. We'll take 3 breaths. And after your third exhale, let's very mindfully release this, opening the arms, opening the legs, finding some space now through the whole central channel as the limbs move out and away, right? So we've done some work for the hips, for the shoulders. There might feel like now there's more prana flowing. Um, yeah, it's like we've cleaned up the rivers a little bit. Okay, let's do the second side. Yeah, it's fun. And so the block is to the left side. We're going to bend both knees and then crossing the right leg over the left. We come into this little sit. And now the right arm comes under the left. And feel what it's like to be in this shape with your arms and legs crossing over each other. And in some places, maybe restricting some breath. What does that feel like to be in a place where the breath is feeling constricted? And then as you're ready, we're going to come out very mindfully, undoing this grunty, this knot, and letting the energy then move again with flow and vitality through the limbs, and through the whole body. Oh, right. We didn't do a side bend, and I'm kind of craving that. So let's do a standing side bend, and then we're going to finish on the floor. So for mountain pose, sweep your arms up. You could interlace your fingers and make a little steeple with your pointer fingers pointing up. Down go your heels, up go your fingers, and coming into a little lateral flexion. Go side to side. I like to let my feet move here. You don't have to keep the feet flat on the floor. Right, this also helps things stay right, communicating from the ankle through the knees, through the hips. Really good. Come back to center, release your arms down, and we're going to come onto the floor to come onto your back. Bend your knees, take your feet as wide as the edges of your mat. Reach your arms wide in a T position. And we're just going to do this loose turning, dropping the knees side to side, the head rolling in the opposite direction, nice and loose. Unwinding. You might stay in the turn for a few breaths if it feels really good. I find it interesting how these turns or twists can feel so different on each side, right? It feels like, oh, I'm getting a nice stretch through my quadriceps on one side, right? But then on the other side, I feel it more in the side of the ribs. Okay, so then we're going to come back to center, and you can add anything you like here um, before Shavasana. So there might be another little stretcher pose that you'd like to do, of course, add to this final part of your practice as you need to or want to. But from here, um, I'm going to go right into Shavasana. So the arms and the legs reaching out from your spine so that there's some little bit of room there in the armpits and in the groins. And in keeping with this theme of dropping and lifting, noticing for yourself where where is your body dropping? Where is it lifting? Are there places that are dropping and lifting at the same time? Are there places that are still holding or maybe gripping or floating? Still some resistance to dropping. And I will leave you. I will leave you to Shavasana. I hope you can take a few minutes at least here to really give yourself this time where there's nothing being asked of you. And to notice, to observe any benefits that might have come. May we each have some benefits from our practice today. And may our practice also benefit others. So thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. And I hope to see you again. Namaste.